in the real world you see, but the world inside Marvel's windows is we have people from every every country, every nationality, and if we do want a specific language or a specific turn of phrase, we can usually find someone in the office, or if we use Google, we can find someone who's going to tell us if that's right or not. It doesn't say the wrong thing. So, and it's Marvel doesn't have a good track record with some language. I remember, I'm a big Japanese guy, and I used to hate some of the names and the bad Japanese and the signs. It just made no sense. It was like gobbledygook. And now, with the internet, and artists can look up much more reference easy, make things right, and we always go through and check names and things like that. Now, even when we were creating Raizo, the vampire, we went through a bunch of different names and had my Japanese friend come up with different cool characters, so we could spell it out. And so there's definitely a focus we put on that now to make everything pretty authentic.
It is sort of fun when it sounds, I don't know if it's authentic or not, but it just sounds funny, like Gambit and Rogue. I don't know who actually talks like that, but I mean, Mark Brooks in another panel saying how he thought Rogue reminded him of the kind of Southern belles he wanted to meet, or that he liked, but no one talks like Gambit.
Is that true, Sugar?
Yeah. We share.
How do you feel about that, Rogue? Mon chéri?
Harry Connick Jr. talks like Gambit.
Actually has the same kind of voice that Gambit does in the animated X-Men.
Really? Okay.
Which guy?
Lafayette. It's the southern French.
Yeah, gentleman over here.
What are your thoughts on the end of Uncanny and just how that came about? And also, is there any way that Chris Claremont can be involved in it as well?
Well, the end of Uncanny X-Men and the rebirth of Uncanny X-Men #1, it's obviously a marketing platform that's supported by story, which is we're telling a story called Schism, which is a big X-Men event that's going to divide the X-Men universe in half along new ideological lines. If you're an X-Men fan or you've just seen the movies, you know that the dynamic is always being sort of two paths: that of Professor X, who wants mutants and humans to live in harmony, and that of Magneto, who believes that isn't achievable, and he's more militant. Well, Schism is going to change that dynamic, and there's going to be two views espoused by Cyclops on one end and Wolverine on the other. And it's going to define the X-Men for years to come, and definitely impact upon the X-Men in 2012 in a major way. With Uncanny, we just knew we had a story that was going to be dividing the team in half. And it required the new #1 just the same way as we were going to, for the Wolverine team, we were going to call Wolverine the X-Men #1. So really part of it is that, we want to sell books, we want to get as many eyes on this material when it's a good jumping on point as possible to help, keep people interested in X-Men at the end of the day. This is the first time we've done an Uncanny X-Men #1.
Yeah.
It's the first time, and we didn't jump to it immediately. We realized, look, we have a story here. We're going to be launching two different teams with two very different mission statements. It's not just they're doing something different now. So that's really justification. And Chris has been involved in X, but he's not at the center of X. We have a very small nucleus of writers who've been working on it. Kieran Gillen is the main guy on Uncanny right now, and will be for the foreseeable future. But it's in his hands. That's continuity central.
Next, right there.
Actually, I was just wondering if there's ever thoughts there would be another DC Marvel crossover like within the 90s?
The problem is that we would win in every battle, and it would be really boring. I don't know. Axel and CB, can you see another Marvel DC thing happening?
No, I can't. DC said that they wouldn't be up for it unless certain conditions were met. And those conditions that they asked for will never be met. So,
out of curiosity, what were the conditions?
So how are you managing their recollected the old crossovers are being recollected? So is that legal?
yeah, that's previously published material is always open game. Our legal teams in our trade paperback division support that out between themselves. But as far as new stuff, no, there's probably nothing. We were hopeful at one point, just to be honest, when Jim and Jeff took over and we're all friends, we thought maybe we could do something, but there's too many obstacles in the way to get anything new for the foreseeable future.
In the red shirt? Or the guy in front of the red shirt, yeah. Yeah, you. Which of the 2099 superheroes would we? Okay. Which of the 2099 superheroes would we like to see redone?
Ravage.
I thought Spider-Man 2099 was cool. Like that was just cool. You don't need to do a whole lot else with it. I don't know.
Punisher.
I'd like to see the Loners 2099 written by C.B. Cebulski.
Yeah. No, I thought Ultimate, no, not Ultimate. Spider-Man 2099 would be my choice too. He was just a great character. I love that series.
You guys consider anybody else besides Spider-Man?
No. He was the, I think he was the right type of character. Ben just had a very clear vision for Miles Morales. He knew what he wanted to do. When we were planning Death of Spider-Man, he saw this character, and I think that actually makes his story a lot more, it has a lot more value to it and a lot more meaning to it, because Miles Morales is going to be Spider-Man. No.
Isn't Ben Reilly still alive in the Ultimate Universe?
He was a scientist, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a scientist. Yeah. He helped create Venom.
Yeah.
Okay, in the back there. Yeah. I'll say, I think that's much more of a Disney decision probably. It's like they would, depending on what they do with Tron, I keep forgetting what they've announced or not announced, so it made me sound like a total idiot. Depending on what they do with Tron moving forward, I think that was a good seller for us. It was a really fun book. I think it just really depends on what they do moving forward and what makes sense for them in terms of merchandising and telling the story of Tron. So if it makes sense for them, I'm sure we'd love to if all the stars align. They might not be happy with us if we steal Tron.
Yeah.
Fanboys don't pay that much attention to it. Well, at Marvel, we have our big brain and one of the world's biggest fanboys in Tom Brevoort. Tom controls the Marvel's hero universe, and he reads a lot of all his own scripts, of course, but some of the scripts for other offices, so we try to catch as much as we can. But it's usually just each individual editorial office, be it, the Wolverine office, or the Ultimate office, or, the Spider-Man office that really controls their own books. And yeah, we do we have a process called a readout process, so it doesn't, we want, every book should have a fresh set of eyes on it. So after the book's composited all together, the editor gets photocopies and sends it around and lets some other editors read it, just to double check it for spelling mistakes, things they might have missed, continuity stuff that might have slipped through the cracks. So we try as best we can to keep it all.
There's also some wonderful websites that we use. I know that the X-Men office, people use xfan.com, where it just keeps a database which is very reliable. So special shout out to them.
Yeah, and actually the nice thing about the Ultimate Universe is that it's relatively newish. So we created something called the Ultimate Wikipedia, and then has just a lot of information about everything that's ever happened. Generally when we get new writers, we have them refer to that. And hopefully they've already been reading it, and I've read everything. I don't know if I remember everything at this point, but I've read everything, so there's a lot of checkpoints to make sure that we're not breaking.
Can I ask a question about Ultimate Hawk, Owl, and Woody?
Okay, right there.
Thank you for asking.
With Amazing Spider-Man, might be in a good place right now, the slot, 1%. How do you guys plan on doing that for the push, especially the relaunch? Is there anything particular that you work on?
We can't give away too much of what the story's going to be. Dan Slott and Steve Wacker would fight for the right to kill us. But I mean, we're launching Avenging Spider-Man in November this year, so I imagine soon around movie time at some point there'll probably be a collection of the first arc or so. We're gonna have a great collection of the Dan Slott stories like you talked about. We're also going to have that Spider-Man Season 1 graphic novel we talked about in another panel out there. So if someone's never read Spider-Man, they can pick up Spider-Man Season 1. If they want to start, they can start with, big time, all the stuff that Dan Slott's done with Spidey. We also have a really vibrant Ultimate Spider-Man universe, or Ultimate Comic Spider-Man universe. So, you're going to have, if they want to read about, if they like Spidey, but they want to read about Miles Morales or a different continuity, they can read that. And then there's the Ultimate Spider-Man television show, or the animated series. That will be out sometime in 2012, which will also be another great gateway for fans of the film. I'm not sure we can say much else. Can we access TV?
No.
No.
We're really happy with what Dan is doing. He's carrying it up right now.